Hello and great morning. It's a beautiful day here in southern Ontario. It's Tuesday morning and the day after Thanksgiving. I hope your turkey hangover is subsiding. Hope you had some great time with family and friends. I know I did. Actually, really grateful for the weekend. I went to two parties on Saturday night. I went to, oh, there's something on my shirt. Went to high school reunion was one of them. I had a beautiful meal with my girlfriend and her little one. Really enjoyed the time spending with family and friends and the people I love the most. A couple of shout outs. Thank you, Arch, and Linda for putting the party together on Saturday night. There was tons of people and so much food, and the band was awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was really awesome. Thank you, Wade, and the people who helped you put the high school reunion together. That was also very cool. I got to see a couple of friends I haven't seen in forever that I actually truly love, and it was really good to see them. That being said, I've been doing Sober October, not drinking at these events, and it's allowing me to do a lot of observing, not judging, not anything, just watching people and watching the way they interact. And I've been doing a lot of learning. Not just from that, from other things, having a lot of great conversations lately. Also some other great, oh gosh, before I even get into that, I got to talk about the announcement. Huge announcement. You saw it on Saturday. We are having, the first time in like 20 years, Rumble on the River here at the Lifespan Center in Dunnville. Super excited about it. Tickets are going fast already, which is freaking awesome. They're very limited, so make sure you get them. They are only available through the QR code or the link that I will post below this video. I've had lots of people ask, save me some, save me some. I can't save them. They're just online. Once they're gone, they're gone. Anyhow, super excited for that. More gratitude to the Wilcox family, Steeltown Boxing, Dante. You guys are all freaking awesome. I can't wait to see you tomorrow night when I come down there for sparring. Not my sparring, my guys that I work with. But a lot of craziness going on in really, really, really good ways. It's funny how when you start to make changes, things just start to change. There is a law to the universe, and I made some major changes a few months ago, and all of a sudden, the world is turning my way, and it's, it's almost like sometimes when you make a decision, you get branched off of a river and you get sidelined into a creek. And once you realize you're sidelined into that creek, you got to swim against the current to get back out to the main river. But once you get to the main river, it just catches you and goes. And that's exactly what's happening. It's freaking awesome. And I'm so excited about what's going on. But oh my goodness, it's almost overwhelming, but not quite. I'm sure I can handle it. But there's another big announcement coming very soon, working on another project that I just got pulled into at the end of last week. So holy cow, lots of stuff coming. You'll hear about that one in the very near future, like within a few days, I'm sure. That being said, one of the things I've really been paying attention to is ego. And it's funny because ego is, let me step back. I watched Inside Out 2 last night. And I've been having a lot of great conversations with friends about making changes in their lives and making changes in my life and all of these things that I love having conversations like this because they touch at a deeper level. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that said, small minds discuss other people, average minds discuss events, and great minds discuss ideas. And it's the ideas that have been discussed that are really, they're revitalizing me, they're energizing me, they are breathing life into me in a way that I haven't felt in a long time. That being said, it's only because of the things that I'm learning from them, things I'm learning about myself, things I'm learning about other people. And one of the things that I see most people become stuck with is ego. I'm guilty of it, just as anybody else. It's the sense of self. And it's funny because I watched Inside Out 2 last night with Kirsten and Sierra, and it's a really great movie, both of them, Inside Out 1 and 2. They're both really great movies about helping, they're aimed at kids, helping understand their emotions and their ego and how all that sense of self dictates, their experiences dictate their beliefs and their sort of core memories dictate their belief system. Their belief system builds up their sense of self. Well, this sense of self is the ego. And whatever our core memories create into our belief system, that becomes who we are. And I'm not trying to reiterate the movie because of this, but it to me, very well breaks down how this sense of self gets formed, how this ego gets formed. And once the ego becomes its own thing, well, it's kind of like, you know what? It's kind of like feeding information into a bulldozer. And if it's got great information, but it's a drone, there's nobody driving it, you just feed the information to it and it goes. And if the information that you fed to it is really good, well, it's going to stay on track and it's going to clear the path the way it needs to, and it's going to, do the right things. But if you feed it with bad information, not only is it going to go off track, it's going to resist any change in that track because it goes against the original program, the original ego that has gotten it there. Well, this is frustrating, especially if you're trying to change things, because the subconscious mind is the bulldozer. It doesn't get to choose where it's going. This is one of the things that always fascinates me about mankind, and the fact that we can build these incredibly massive machines. And if you look at like a Boeing 747 or the the A380 Airbus, something like that. I remember seeing it on Discovery Channel at some point. But these massive, massive, massive airplanes. And you look at the little pilot's window, and it's just tiny. And you're looking at this massive aircraft. And it responds nimbly to every command. Well, sort of nimbly. To every command that the pilot gives it. But without the pilot, it's useless. Well, that pilot is the information you're feeding it. You have to consciously control that machine, that ego. If it's not serving you, or if you discover that it used to serve you, here's the thing. Being around a kid a lot more than usual. I love kids, don't get me wrong, but being around one all the time, it's very easy to see their stimulus response patterns. I don't get what I want, so now I give attitude and throw a temper tantrum or I cry. And the funny thing about that is most people not most people, but a lot of people don't ever progress beyond that ability to communicate. We learn it as a baby. I'm hungry, I cry. I'm tired, I cry. I want to be held, I cry. And as we grow up, I want ice cream. No, I cry. I want to watch this. No, I cry. And then we get older, and nobody stopped that pattern. And guess what? I've worked with them. You've worked with them. Somebody doesn't get what they want. They cry. Maybe not truly physically cry, but I could definitely tell you when I was the president of a company, I had to keep a box of Kleenex on my desk at all times because there was always somebody in my office crying. And I'm not saying that I judging them for it. What I'm saying is, this is the ego. This is the belief system. This is the way that most people communicate. And if this is the way that most people communicate, well, shouldn't we be progressing beyond the I don't get what I want, cry, or throw a temper tantrum phase? But what really changes that for us is ourselves. We can't go around changing other people. It just doesn't work. You're going to drive yourself silly trying to do that. What we can do, though, is lead by example. So when we're dealing with our own ego, how do we deal with it? I've noticed something as of late that is very interesting. I have been feeding enough good information into my subconscious, into my ego, that my ego is now changing its belief systems and it's feeding me back good things again. What do I mean by that? Well, we all have intrusive thoughts. We all have thoughts that say, hey, eat that cheeseburger, or hey, pick up that bonbon, or whatever the heck the intrusive thoughts say. I've seen people do some pretty stupid things, like lay in the middle of the road. The ability to stop those intrusive thoughts, A, is what separates the quote-unquote normal people from psychopathic people that can't be in society, because those thoughts don't come from us. But the ego feeds a pattern of belief. It becomes rooted in its belief systems. How the heck do I explain this? Our experiences make our beliefs. Our beliefs make our ego, or our operating system. In order to change the operating system, we have to change the beliefs. In order to change the beliefs, we need to change the information that is founding the beliefs. Not only do we have to change the information and feed it good stuff, but we also have to start deconstructing the old beliefs. That is not easy. That's something that takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of persistence. Now, well, that's not even true. To be honest with you, it can happen in a moment where somebody's belief system is completely shattered. I mean, there wouldn't be movies if that wasn't the truth. But when you're doing it for yourself without a whole lot of outside influence, you have to be consistently speaking to yourself. And this is where most people don't talk to themselves very nice. How many times have you stubbed your toe and went, you idiot, or forgotten something? It's so stupid. These experiences become our belief system. We have to let ourselves off the hook instead of saying, I'm so stupid. That was really stupid, but I'm not. Now, I know this sounds like a subtle shift and like it shouldn't matter, but the fact of the matter is, it does make a difference. I know this because I've used it in several different iterations over the years, but this is the first time I've truly been aware of when my mind, my ego, started feeding me back positive information. I was sitting on my couch about a week and a half ago, and my ego said, when's the last time you did a sit-up? Let's do some sit-ups. Well, what the hell? That is not normally what happens. I think about exercising and my mind would go, I don't want to, I'm lazy, I'm tired, this hurts, that. When my ego actually said, hey, let's get up and do some sit-ups or some push-ups. I used to do 100 push-ups a day, no problem. I did not do 100 push-ups the other day. I did 5. It was a good start, but I did them. My subconscious fed me the information to go do something positive for myself instead of doing something negative for myself. And that only comes because I have been consciously commanding my mind to do better. I'm feeding it tons of positive information. I'm at least, probably an hour a day. Most days I'm going for a walk, but I'm listening to Think and Grow Rich. I'm listening to Tony Robbins. I'm listening to Influenced by Robert Cialdini. I'm listening to All the Way to the River by, I don't remember her name, but it's a freaking awesome book. Thank you, Tom, for putting me onto that one. If you're having troubles getting the right stuff coming out of your subconscious right now, know that it can be changed. It's going to take time, and it's going to take positive effort. Like, you got to do the work. But if you feed your mind positive information, if you feed it positive commands, and you catch yourself doing the things you don't like doing, but consciously tell yourself, no, this isn't the right thing, this is, then eventually the bulldozer will start to go onto the right track, and it'll start clearing the path for you. I know that's what's happening for me. Now, here's a little fun experiment. If you want to understand how integral the sense of self or ego is in your life, put a wristband, put an elastic band on your wrist. And every time you use the word I, whether it's in thought or whether it's in verbal communication, snap your wrist. I know this sounds crazy, but this is a way of breaking a habit. If you want a cigarette, you snap the thing. it works. It is kind of Pavlovian. However, when you use the word I, whether it's in thought or it's in communication, verbally, snap that band so that you, A, become aware of how many times you say I. We are very, very self-centered when it comes to our universe. Everything is about us and our ego and protecting our ego. However, when you start to become aware of just how important that ego is, and you start to question what it's doing for you, or why it's doing it, or how it's doing it, or when it's doing it, well, the ego will start to retreat a little. And if you do it long enough, 3, 4, 5 days, yeah, whatever, it's my stream. Holy shit, does it ever make a difference in how you view yourself and how you interact with the world? A lot of people got main character syndrome nowadays. I promise you, if that person were to do this for 3 to 5 days, they'd realize they don't matter at all. In fact, none of us matter until we do. And we matter to the people that, we have to make ourselves matter. We have to make the people around us want to love us. Well, we can't make them, but by being the right kind of person, we attract more people to us. And more people means more opportunity. More opportunity means a more prosperous life. More prosperous life, you're probably in a better mood. You start going on this whole up cycle instead of a down cycle, which the ego can cause. Now, the ego can cause a down cycle once you get to a certain point too, but that's a whole different story. For right now, just be aware of how self-centered the ego is. I'm not saying you're self-centered. I'm saying the ego is self-centered. It's a weird way that our mind works. It's probably served us to keep us alive at some point, but nowadays, it keeps us separated. It keeps us isolated. And if we start to deconstruct the way that it's running our lives, and we give it more conscious commands, we get a better life. So, go out there. Try it. Try the wristband thing. It's weird, but it works. Love to hear you in the comments if you try it, because it's a really cool little experiment. Anyhow, that's it for me at the start of the week. I hope you have a fantastic day. Again, Rumble on the River, November 22nd. Going to put the link for the tickets down below. They are going fast, so hurry up and get them before they're gone. This one's going to be a sellout event. There's only a couple hundred tickets. So, that being said, I will be announcing the new project within a day or two, I'm sure. Can't wait to tell you about that. That's going to be huge for my little town. Yeah. Anyhow, that's it for me today. Until the next time, know that I love you, and I'll see you soon.